Welcome, everybody, to the Blaze podcast, where our topics and conversations are always fire. Today, I am your host, Brandon, and joining me is the usual, Jed.
And we have a new person today.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you were
no,
gonna
you just
say
took a while,
something.
so I was like,
Oh,
we have a new person today. So today we have Tiernan with us, and I don't know how often he'll be here with us, but we do plan on having different people come in every once in a while into our podcast. So with that being said,
well, before we
okay,
keep going, just so people know, Adrian is sick today,
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's why we have
He's
Tiernan
dead.
in
He's
here.
dead.
Also, yeah, he's dead. Also, if you guys are interested, please make sure to follow us on Twitter. That's at the Desperado316 for me. Follow us on Anchor.fm at Blaze Podcast, SoundCloud Blaze Podcast, YouTube Blaze Podcast, and I think that's about it. That's everywhere you can find us. Follow me on twitch.tv/the Desperado316, so that if you guys can't get enough of us, you always know where to find us. All right, let's get started. First, I didn't want to start off in such a bad topic, such a bad mood, but we have to do it. Stan Lee dead at, what is it, 82,
no,
92?
no, he's like 95.
Like 100.
Dead.
95.
Yeah, he lived pretty long.
95. Prayers and condolences to his family. Thank God he lived a long life. We can't say he died too young. He's had a pretty dope
Dude,
life too.
I think the crazy part is like he never, with Stanley, like he never ran out of life. Like at least from the way he was like coming out in all these movies, like he always seemed like happy and shit. Like he never.
Which is
It never
really weird
seemed
because I
like
know
he
he had
was
like a
gonna
lot of
leave,
medical.
like-
He had a lot of medical
Yeah,
problems.
and it never seemed like he was gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the guy was gonna live forever. But I mean, we all knew he was gonna die eventually. Like it's just crazy to know that he's dead.
I thought he would at least finish
Unfortunately.
the Infinity War and all that kind of stuff.
Well, he did because Infinity War finished.
Yeah,
filming.
I'm sure he'll be in there for sure.
He'll be in
It's
it.
just like
Yeah.
weird that
People are
he's
gonna
not
cry in theaters.
Yeah, when they when they see him, it's pretty sad. Stanley has affected all our childhoods, probably people who are listening to childhood, even like on adulthood. Like a lot of anime and gaming have been inspired by shit that Stanley has created.
Yeah, like anime in general has just paid tributes to Stan Lee. Like just random anime shows will have a character in them that like is modeled after Stan Lee just as a cameo because they appreciate like American cinema and like all Stan Lee has done.
Yep.
Yeah, he's really done a lot for us. I mean, think about it. This anime that we have, like My Hero, One Punch Man, like those are, you can really tell that Stan Lee like helped create those in their childhood. So rest in peace, Stan Lee. Does anybody have like any cool little like superhero? Like when did you guys like really start getting into superheroes?
Dude, probably as soon as I could like start understanding TV shows and like comics, I guess.
Did you have a favorite?
As a little kid, I think the first superhero movie I can remember is probably watching Spider-Man, but he was not my favorite. I
Gotcha.
really liked Black Panther as a little kid, just because back in the day, Black Panther was like the savage superhero that like would do what he needed to do. Like he didn't care about like indiscriminately killing and stuff. That's mainly for comics, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was almost seen as like a villain. Like the first time I think he and Iron Man met, he like scratched through him with his claws.
I got you.
that's pretty dope. But it's for me, I don't know if you guys remember watching like that Spider-Man cartoon where like Mary Jane was a clone or some shit.
No, which one was
You guys
that?
remember
Dude,
that? No, you don't
What?
remember. Okay, there is like, it was way back in the, I don't know if you guys remember Toon Disney. It used to be on Toon Disney.
Yeah.
Like that's the channel. And like what had happened like towards the later seasons, like Mary Jane, I guess, got like, she either died or got put into like another like universe. And like the Mary Jane in the show was like a clone, but like she dissolved and she like touched water. It was really crazy. I'm gonna see if I can like find a link of it or put it like up on the screen, because that shit was like mind blowing. That's the first like show that I actually like kept up with, was Spider-Man. But that was also my favorite superhero growing up, was Spider-Man.
So for me, Spider-Man I think was like one of the first
He was
ones that I
so
watched.
popular. Like when we grew up, it was like the
Yeah.
main show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I liked I think my favorite one was Hulk. Like
Hulk.
I liked Hulk, and I think what got me into it, Hulk was like the first like official like live action Hulk movie they made. I think that was like so cool. Don't at me. I just like that movie a lot. Did you guys ever watch that one? The first official, yeah.
That's the one with Abomination,
No,
right?
Yeah.
that's the one.
No, that was the one in late
Which was-
2000, I think.
Yeah, it was like
Which one's the first
2002
one?
or 3 or 4 or something like that.
Who did he fight in the first
He
one?
fought his father, who turned out to be, oh my god, I forget the villain's name, but he was like, his father was able to like go into like elements and like become them.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so because his father his father was the one who created the whole like serum and turning him into the Hulk, because he did experiments on him as a baby.
Brian
and then
Banner.
yeah, and then like he becomes like I think he puts the same like serum into himself or something like that, and he becomes like, I forget the villain's name, but he becomes whoever the villain is, and then like
Not Red Hulk, right?
no. They have, but yeah, so basically the plot of the movie is like it leads up to them fighting at the very end of the movie, and I always thought like that was such a like cool like fight and shit. And it was just a good movie to watch, and I even watched it a fuck.
Was he called? Yeah, it was Absorbing Man.
Absorbing Man, yeah, I think that's what it was.
What the fuck?
I think that's what it was, yeah.
That's something. Actually, let me take it back. It wasn't Spider-Man, it was Iron Man.
Iron Man
was my favorite, because for some reason I always thought like having like a suit to fight in, like a robot suit, was like the coolest thing ever.
No, yeah, that is fucking dope. Iron Man's definitely cool as shit. But yeah, for me it was Hulk. I just think Hulk was such a cool fucking movie, dude.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
The third one was supposed to have Red Hulk, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But like the one after Incredible Hulk, I think that's what was supposed to happen.
I
saw like Incredible Hulk too.
Some on Reddit that was really like relating back to Stan Lee's. Was that he always like, drew comics and stuff like that, and in school as a kid, and he just like took the negative criticism that he received as a kid and just didn't care about it, and just continued to like make his comics, and then look where he was like now. He made his entire franchise off of something that was like a dream or a hobby that he enjoyed, and he just now tons of people are influenced by him.
It's pretty crazy when you think about it too, that Marvel like almost went out of business recently.
Yeah,
like it wasn't too long ago where they sold off like most of the movie rights.
Yeah,
for stuff. So it's pretty crazy how things have changed really fast. But anyways, rest in peace, Stan Lee. His legacy is always gonna live like way beyond our time. Like I'm pretty sure our children are gonna be affected by the shit that he's created.
Yep.
But anyways, on to something much lighter. The teaser trailer for Toy Story came out. I don't know if you guys got to watch it.
Yes, I watched it.
I did not watch it.
Well, just for everybody so everybody knows. The teaser trailer was basically just all the toys in a circle, like doing a merry-go-round. I think that's what it's called, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ring Around the Rosie. That's what it's called. Yeah. And then towards the end, there's a new character that's a spork with googly eyes. I think like licorice hands and like foam kind of gum feet.
Yeah.
Saying that he's not a toy. So I did read the description of what this movie's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be about how like Woody discovers what it means like to be a toy.
Yeah.
So I think this movie's supposed to be not super deep thing. I watched a lot of videos where people like really, really went into like deep thinking about this. I think like just the general gist is supposed to be why I think it's gonna be how the toys are alive, and how like as a little kid we kind of make toys out of like inanimate objects. So how do they actually do come alive, which is something that the Toy Story franchise never talked about.
Yeah, no.
Unless you like think about the Pixar theory. Unless you guys don't know what that is.
No, enlighten me. What's the Pixar theory?
So the Pixar theory is basically that like every single Pixar movie, is in like one timeline. So it starts with like The Good Dinosaur.
Oh,
and then
okay. I watched a video about that. Yes.
Yeah, so like in the theory, it's supposed to say how like the reason why the toys are alive is because of human energy, and that's how the cars are alive and all that stuff. Like everything revolves around human energy. So
Gotcha.
maybe it'd be really cool if they like that's how they explain it.
It would be
That it's human
cool,
energy,
but
which make the theory like
I
right.
also like. I mean, that would be cool, yes. But I also like the simplicity of like that everything's just like, what do you call it? Like if they keep it simple, like talking about like the whole toy thing and like how you can make a toy out of anything and inanimate objects and shit like that. Like children have that imagination to make toys talk and all that stuff. Because that when I watched Toy Story, it was more of like I never thought that my toys could talk. It was more of like it's just how I would imagine them. If that makes any sense.
As a little kid, Toy Story would creep me out.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I was like, dude, my toys are gonna come to life and fucking kill me.
Bro, I had this like
it was because of that.
It wasn't a toy.
There was that other movie that came out.
Chucky?
No, not Chucky. It was like the Toy Soldiers.
Oh,
one.
I know which one. Toy Soldiers.
Yeah.
Yes,
Dude, that one in like Toy Story came out around like I think the same time.
Yeah, it was around the same time. I think probably.
If not,
I
a
love
few
Toy
years apart.
Soldiers.
And I just like coupled with those two. As a little kid, I was terrified. I would like move all my toys out of my room and like put them in a different room when I went to bed.
Did you? I had a toy. Not a toy, but it was like a figurine of like Michael Jordan, like dunking. And bro, I remember I just used to be like so scared. I used to like put him in my closet when I was going to sleep. I was legitimately terrified that it might come to life.
Yeah, no, for me, Toy Soldiers was fucking cool as shit. And
Toy Story just is cool.
If anything, that like made me like I used to actually like imagine like I would play with my toys and like fucking like have like a little battle in my head. Like I'd put them all like against each other and shit. It was so like it was like so fun to do when I was a kid. I can't even remember how the fuck I imagined that, but I just did. But yeah, like that Toy Soldiers for me was just a fucking cool ass movie.
For
on top
me,
of Toy Story.
the only toys that were like safe in my mind were Legos. So like
they made the Lego movie. Now
they wouldn't come to life and like kill me or whatever. So I just like bought 1,000 Legos and had them like set up in battles all the time in my room.
That's dope. Until you step on them.
Nah, dude, I put them up on my desk and like I loved Star Wars Legos, so I'd bought like tons of droids and like clone sets.
Yeah.
And then I literally would go out to like Home Depot with my dad as like an 8 or 9-year-old kid and get like pieces of wood, and then I would like cut them up and make like different terrain like for the clones and the droids to like have battles on and stuff like that, like model it on my desk.
Yeah.
What were you guys just like? All right, whenever I play with my toys, I always had like the same like basic story. I think I wasn't that creative of a kid, where I was just like, this is the toy, and he's the chosen one, and he's the only toy that can beat like the evil toy that I chose to be the evil toy. I don't know if like that's how you guys used to think about it.
I used to just come up with different stories, dude. Like I don't even know. Like I don't
know how I did some of them.
Yeah, because we're not kids anymore. Like we don't have that imagination, like anymore at all. But like we used to like. We used to like. What, do you have that imagination?
I mean, I'm still a kid, so.
Okay, yeah,
at least in the mind.
Okay.
No, dude, I would always have like one side be overpowered as hell. Well, not like super overpowered, not like fucking what is it, One Punch Man overpowered. I would have like for some reason the clones would always be like defending a base and the droids would be attacking. There'd be like overwhelming numbers, but like the clones would be able to push them back, blah blah, that kind of deal.
I got you. I mean, when you think about it, like, that's how it was in the movie too. They were overwhelmed by droids, but it's just because of the clones being superior in training. They would always win.
Yeah,
most of the time, not all.
That's why the prequels are obviously better. Just saying.
Oh shit! Hot takes.
Yeah, no,
hot takes.
I can agree a little bit. I like the prequels a little more, don't I?
Another hot take here. Another nice segue. Another hot take.
Okay, here's the thing.
They're not even
the only
bad.
movie. Yeah, because everybody bashes them. The only movie that I like think is a little bit better is obviously Empire Strikes Back. But other than that, I think like Episode 3 is god tier movie. Don't at me.
That is true. I liked the Clone Wars. Maybe a little parts of Clone Wars.
This is what, Brandon, I'm telling you, when you watch the Clone Wars animated series, you'll see why. And they make the clones look so badass.
You haven't watched it? Dude.
No, I've never got to watch it.
He's only watched a little bit of it, but they're so
that
like
was so good.
it enhances like the Star Wars experience, and you watch like the prequel movies in a whole different view when you watch the Clone Wars series. And I'm so glad it's coming back. I cannot wait to get back into that, dude.
God, I was excited when they started making like another like animated series where they brought back like Captain Rex is like since he had that
Oh yeah, Rebels.
Star Wars Rebels. Like spoiler, not really a big one, but like
Yeah, I
Rex
don't
had a
really care.
surgery where they like took out the little brain chip that activates Order 66.
Mm-hmm.
And so he comes back in Rebels as like the guy that helps like train the younglings.
Yep.
But and I was like so hyped for it, and then it was sort of a letdown. I think that's because it felt too much like a Disney aspect.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people hate about Rebels. Is like it was just like it's not as like badass as what
It's
Clone Wars
Disney
was.
five.
Yeah, like Clone Wars
Yeah.
like had no fucking chill. Like,
So then, do you think this new Clone Wars is gonna have a chill, or do you think it's
I
gonna be
don't
Disney
know.
five?
I feel
I
like
don't know.
if they want the same like attitude, the same atmosphere, they have to go back to like less aiming for younger kids to enjoy and more like teens to enjoy.
Yeah, like teens to adults.
Yeah.
I would say adults
Yeah.
watch that too. They're true fans.
I would say adults would watch that more.
Yeah. But yeah. So
So those were cool. Another hot take. The Detective Pikachu trailer came out, and I have to say, I don't know why people are complaining about the Pokemon in it because the Pokemon look dope.
Did you really see complaints online? I haven't really.
Yeah,
really
dude, I saw
I saw a lot.
that too. There was
There
a
was
lot
like,
of people complaining about like the quality of like the CGI or something about it.
which they're puppets too. They use puppetry, which I love. They actually also, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like those pictures of like Pokemon in real life, like how they would look like.
Yes, I've seen them.
That same artist they hired to work on this movie.
Okay, but in all reality though, if people are complaining, and this should just like stop them dead short, how the fuck do you think Pokemon are gonna look in real life?
Exactly.
It's made from like fucking 1900s anime.
1900s anime.
I mean, like, do they just think that's how it's gonna look in real life? No, you're gonna
Like
have
plastic?
you're gonna have like a fucking dog that's yellow, you know?
And you're gonna have a fucking weird looking ass like Charizard lizard thing because that's not normal.
Exactly. Like I don't know.
Like that's what I hate. It was so annoying, like having people like be like, "Oh, Miss Jigglypuff looks weird," and I was like, "Yes, it's literally a Pokemon covered in hair. What do you want? You want it to be like all plastic? You're just gonna complain that it's not realistic then?"
Okay, dude, the Jigglypuff's appearance though in the trailer, that was like a horror movie type deal. It was like in a diner.
That's how they would look like. That's how Pokemon would be like. It'd be like a horror movie sometimes.
Well, it's just because Jigglypuff.
Dude,
the
Jigglypuff
classic thing is putting people to sleep.
Yeah, Jigglypuff is literally Bill Cosby, the Pokemon.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Oh my god.
I mean, he just wants you to eat its pudding pops. All right. But are we excited for Detective Pikachu? I don't know if you guys played the game or like even.
Dude,
I never played the game. I knew about it, but if there was a first like live action Pokemon movie to come out, I wish it was the Latios movie.
That's my favorite Pokemon
thank
movie.
you.
Nobody gives it. No, but everybody thinks the second one, the one with Entei,
No,
is the best one. No, Latios and Latias is such a great.
Can you
movie.
imagine a live action of that? That would be so fucking good.
I would love it. But I'm pretty glad they took this aspect where it's like, let's make a completely different story. And apparently, like, this story can also technically be canon to the anime and games. Well, anime at least, because it just takes place in America.
Yeah.
So it's possible that like it'd be really cool if there's like a cameo or like a reference to Ash or something.
No, oh yeah, Brandon.
So
the movie you and I were talking about was Pokemon Heroes.
Pokemon Heroes.
Best scene in that.
They're in like Italy or something. They have the fucking.
It's not. It's not Italy, but it's like. I'm pretty sure it's just like it looks just like Italy, and it's some like weird.
Pokemon it's supposed to be Italy because they have like the the rivers.
Yeah, like the canals and like the
boat.
channels and
Yeah,
stuff
the
like that.
canals. Those were so cool.
And then I still remember it from like childhood that Ash was being like followed or like led on by this girl that like wouldn't talk, and then you find out that the girl is like Latias.
That's so good. All them. I don't know if you've seen the movies now. They like the old movies had like this sharp way of like shading themselves.
Yeah, I'm looking at a few
really
like
nice.
pictures right now, and it's just like the scene when they're in that garden with the glass gazebo, and Latios are flying around Ash. There's just like light streaks coming down, which is really really nice like art style.
Such a good one. I love that movie. One of my favorites.
Dude, like
Yeah.
again, if someone made a movie at that, like a live action, did it right, it would be good. It would be very good.
Oh yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy they're doing a complete separate story.
Yeah.
Which I like. Is there any part of like the trailer like, what do you really want to see out of this movie?
I don't know.
Honestly,
Okay,
I want to see some battles. Like,
it does look like we're gonna get some kind of battle.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it's gonna be like a real battle or it kind of looks like a let me run away while this Charizard's attacking me kind
it
of
looked
battle.
like they were in sort of a coliseum in one of them. Because
Yeah.
I want to know how like they play in like the whole like gym aspect. I know it's Detective Pikachu, but like I still like to see some gym action.
Yeah. I think that like, what do you call it? Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. You know what? Move on. I don't know. I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
I think the best thing about for me to go watch some movies just to like try to point out how many different Pokemon there are.
Yeah.
It's like I noticed I noticed like a Pokemon from the Alola region, which is like the newest region.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're including
So
everything then.
Yeah, they're including every because that's where Detective Pikachu is too. Detective Pikachu started in the lower region.
Do you think if this movie does well, if it's actually good, you think they'll make another Pokemon movie, live action?
Oof. I think if this movie does really well, not only do I think we're gonna get good live action Pokemon movies, I think we're gonna start getting good live action anime movies. Because this one seems like the first anime movie that's made by like people that really care about it.
Yeah.
Like if they're hiring the guy who makes like the live interpretations of Pokemon for free, like the guy was just doing it for free and they're hiring him now, like that tells to me like these people really care about this movie.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, I mean I hope. I mean, I don't want like the meme of
because we're getting a fucking My Hero Academia live action.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want the meme of the Netflix adaptation happening to all this shit. Like I want a good fucking like live action anime movie. I don't want it to be crap at all.
I think we all do. I think anime fans deserve that for once.
No.
And it'll be good because not only will it be a good anime movie, it'd be a good gaming movie too.
Speaking of which, did you guys happen to watch the Bleach live action? I'd heard from a few people.
No, I heard it was trash.
Really? God.
Chad, you watched it, didn't you?
No. No.
I think Kyle watched it.
Probably Kyle.
Kyle, a fan of Bleach?
Kyle's a big Bleach fan. I think he watched all of Bleach. I only watched Bleach, I think the like 2 seasons they have on Netflix, which led up to
the Soul Society arc, right?
Yeah, the Soul Society.
Which is like the best arc.
Actually, yeah. I think it's when Aizen like gets absorbed or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I dropped off in Bleach. Alright. So off from some video game topics and movie topics to some real life stuff. Amazon HQ 2 has been announced. They're going to be put in Washington, D.C. And New York City. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Virginia, North Virginia. and New York City.
They're gonna have their third HQ be the floating one in the sky that moves around the U.S.
Basically, that drops drones down to
that would actually be fucking dope.
Okay, no, they have a patent for it already, Jed. That's the reason I mentioned that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait.
No
way.
Way. How would they even do that?
They submitted for a patent.
That's scary.
Which was approved to have a flying store And it would deliver things by drones. So
That sounds like some evil villain
doesn't
shit.
it? So first off, having this is like a huge monopoly on the market. But obviously, you wouldn't have to have a monopoly as long as your prices are well, you can still have a monopoly, but your prices will still be like decently lower. People won't buy it because the time efficiency will not be worth the extra cost. But yeah, if you have something delivered to your door in like 5 hours, that would be way better than like whatever. I think everything is like almost 2 days standard now for Amazon.
No, it's 1 day standard now for Amazon.
Yeah, I know it's at least guaranteed shipping for two
Or
days.
that same day.
Yeah, you can
A lot of
if you
times.
want. Yeah, like some things you can have it shipped within like the day. I've never
Yeah, which
ordered
is freaking
anything from a
crazy.
drone. I don't think it's available.
And the thing is like what do you call it? It's still you're still spending like a lot more money. Like if they ever were to make that whole flying store,
Oh yeah, I think their patent isn't
they would.
until like 2036, so it's
Yeah,
pretty
that's still
pretty.
But I didn't even need a patent. I don't think anybody else is thinking about doing that.
Well, see, that's the thing. You submit that patent, so you get it ahead of time, just in case anyone wants to
That's
like.
true.
It's like the barriers to entry to the market, so you can monopolize it until your patent expires.
I got
yeah.
you.
And what I was saying is like
I got you.
it'd probably drop price if like they did something like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want like same day shipping, it won't be as expensive as what it is today.
Yeah.
Jesus, I don't even want to think about the fucking taxes I'd have to pay for that. But all right, so with Amazon HQ2, we do have some pretty good perspectives here because we have someone who comes from New York and someone who is gonna be living like what 5 minutes away from it.
Yeah, around like 20 minutes.
20 minutes. All right, so since Hernan's living there right now, what is it going to do for your area?
So in Northern Virginia, Nova for short, traffic around here is like already horrendous. Like people talk about like their own area's traffic. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's like terrible, blah blah blah. It's unpredictable." And having like traveled all along the East Coast and like staying in certain places for a while, I can say without a doubt that Nova is the worst place for traffic. People have no rules, follow no like rules on the road, no courtesies, anything like that. Traffic is always terrible. It'll take you like 20 minutes to go like half a mile in like a non-secluded area outside of like any suburb. Just terrible. DC is no exception. Obviously, it's a big city,
Yeah.
but adding a huge shipping HQ that would obviously be like shipping out trucks and vans and such, and like even cars to go deliver packages or like move to their smaller like warehouses and stuff like that. That would make things so much worse traffic wise. On the plus side, we might get some like I don't know if you guys have ever seen them, but like the Amazon lockers. Could
What are
probably get a
those?
lot more of those.
No, what are those?
Okay, so Amazon locker, say if you don't want something delivered to your house, like you're not going to be there, and you don't want it left on your doorstep,
Uh-huh.
or you're going to be going somewhere, and like say your work is like 45 minutes away, and you ordered a package that you like don't want to go home to pick up.
Yeah.
Amazon locker, but
Mhm.
there's like an Amazon locker across the street at this library. There's these big
Okay, I think I know what you mean.
huge like lockers that
That
have
the package
keys
can be
on them.
delivered to,
Yeah,
basically.
the package can be delivered to them, and on the sides of the lockers they'll have like code words like Applebee or like like some random word on the side of them. So you'll type in like your area zip code, and then you'll type in like the locker key or locker location code, and then you'll get it delivered there. You go in, they have like a touchpad. You like open your little package containing your locker, or your locker containing your package, and you get your package and you go on your way.
That's
I think
fucking crazy.
it's really helpful
That's
for people
interesting.
that live in like neighborhoods where packages get stolen off their doorsteps all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, that's they thought about everything. I didn't even know about that first off. So like, I feel like
Yeah.
Amazon has just become like the place, like the delivery company for sure. Like
Yeah.
they're like thinking out the
Oh yeah,
box
definitely.
with all types of ways to deliver a package. Like how do you feel about the whole like someone can come into your home and drop a package even like
Oh, the Amazon
Nope.
door keys, dude.
yeah
Honestly,
that's so weird.
you guys know like my mentality on the whole like future thing. I don't even care about like privacy anymore. I just think that stuff's cool.
Nope. No, thank you.
I'll get the chip in my
got
arm. I'll get the Amazon door lock.
no.
Nah, dude, fuck that. That's just weird. Maybe it'll be normal. I mean, maybe we're just getting old. Maybe it'll be normalized for like our kids or some shit to have shit like that, or maybe even our kids.
Fuck that, bro.
Maybe just be normal for them.
That's
It's
fucking wild.
like we'll be like fucking 9 years old and like someone's coming through the door or some shit, or throwing a package through a portal or some shit, and like we'll be like, what the fuck? That's invasion of privacy.
They'll be like, get over it, Grandpa.
Exactly.
Back in our day.
Future's now, old man.
But let's not not only is traffic, I know in New York the traffic there is fucking horrendous too.
See, but at least the streets are laid out like a grid. Jesus.
The same this week, fucking New York fucking shut down because of the snow.
Yeah.
Over here, this fucking snow was horrendous here too. I got fucking stuck in my car for like an hour.
Yeah, and
some people from my job didn't get home for like 2-3 hours. I knew a girl who got stuck in her car for 9 hours.
Yeah, that's fun. I would fucking shoot myself. I would just start walking.
Just
like, there's no
imagine that
point in
with
staying
Amazon.
there. Like, I would get so pissed. Like, that's why I, like always have a piss bottle in your fucking like car just in case.
Why do you talk?
Now I'm being serious. That's like, where are you gonna piss? You're gonna fucking
something more.
You're gonna fucking walk out and fucking pee on the side of the road in front of everybody. No, like you want to have a piss bottle.
Something more serious, at least with Amazon HQ, is I don't know how it is over there, where they're putting it in at VO, whatever you call it,
Nova,
NVO, Nova, whatever, in Nova, but over they're putting in like Queens, New York, which is a low like not a poverty, but like it's low income neighborhoods, which are gonna be kicking out like a bunch of people and making people homeless. So like, I don't know over there in Nova, like how is that area like? Is it more upscale, more?
Nova's a mix because a lot of people commute to DC, right? So they're like the low income jobs that work at DC, they're like middle income, people that work in like offices and businesses and stuff there. And then there's like the upper echelons or like senators and like government workers and stuff like that. So there'll be like suburbs all right next to each other, that all have like different neighborhoods. So like where I am, it's like not the greatest, but like you go over to the neighborhood to my left and it's like super like higher middle class, let's say. And then you go over to the neighborhood to my right, and then all of a sudden it's like low income neighborhood, lots more crime.
Well, where they're placing the Amazon, what kind of neighborhood is that?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. I'm guessing if they're gonna be off of like a major like roads and stuff like that, it'll probably be like average middle class neighborhood, because just the way that all the neighborhoods are set up around here, you kind of have to go off the main highway a little to get to like lower income neighborhoods.
I got you. Because we know the one in Queens, at least from what Brandon said, is that it's a lower income neighborhood, and his thing is like, what did you want to talk about, Brandon? It's like that it's like morally wrong.
Do you think you should halt progress if you're hurting like the unfortunate?
See, if Amazon's gonna be making an HQ in Nova in like near a low income neighborhood, I think that might honestly be better for the neighborhood based on like some of the people, they can't get jobs, or they have jobs that aren't as supportive or like benefiting them just because of commutes and like the area density. So like one of the shopping centers near my house, I know there are literally people at all times during the year that stand outside and will like wait for jobs to open up, or they'll stand outside because they have so many people living in like their apartments, because they all like share their apartments with other families, that they just can't fit that many people out, so they'll take shifts staying in their apartments. So
That's
if
crazy.
Amazon's coming and they're setting up and they'll need workers, I'm gonna think that they're not just gonna set up and like shift a bunch of workers. They're probably gonna bring some people in.
No, they are actually they're so I read an article where they're actually shifting a bunch of workers over there,
Yeah,
and they're giving them
I
$3,000 for 12 months
I
if they ship over.
I have no doubt that they're shipping some workers over. I'm saying they're gonna need more people than how many they're bringing.
But let's not. If it's an HQ, I don't think these are gonna be like. I mean, I don't think a bunch of people are getting HQ level jobs other than being a janitor. The people that live in that area. You're not giving jobs to those people. You're giving jobs to like the upper middle class that could afford to go to college for these kinds of jobs.
Well, it's gonna be uh like a management HQ. There's all sorts of like uh jobs that are gonna be created. I'm assuming. I don't know what their layout is gonna be for their HQ.
Because for me, when I think HQ, right, I'm not thinking about like a warehouse. I'm thinking it's the place where like businesses run, people with suits, people with college degrees, with like bachelors and stuff like that. Like I don't think someone who could barely afford rent their whole life, who couldn't go to college, is getting a job here.
Well, let me see what this is gonna look like.
So okay, so wait, so okay, I thought you knew this for sure, but is it not like, is it not warehouse related? Like
Oh no, it's an
how many
HQ.
warehouses? Do you know how many warehouses Amazon has across the U.S.?
A shit
A
ton.
shit ton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 3 around us.
Okay, so the HQ, like what's the whole purpose of it
HQ,
exactly?
if I remember correctly, it's just to like spread across to different like areas. Just have another HQ like in different places to
Because that was
grow within there.
okay.
So yeah, Amazon's they're one in St. Louis, I think. That's their current headquarters.
The current one is in Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle. Okay. So their one in Seattle is like a huge office building.
Yes.
So I'm assuming
But this
yeah,
one's
you're
also gonna be an
probably
office building.
yeah, I'm gonna assume that this one's also gonna be an office building just like on the East Coast. So I have no doubt that they're gonna have to ship in like management workers, like right people
Yes.
with like
And they
a
are.
higher level and like the job chain from like CEO working all the way down to like janitor. If you assume a janitor is like lower, I quantify janitors as like their own like branch chain in like a job pyramid, because you have like your grunt workers doing like actual like physical task, and then maintenance workers being like people that get supplies, like clean stuff up, like the physical part of maintenance, like actual location maintenance. And that can be like any job, like you have like engineers and stuff like that if you're working in construction that work on the vehicles. Anyways, I'm going to assume that they're going to need people like janitors, people that are going to work in the office, even as like lower level. But if it's going to be a giant skyscraper type office building like they have in Seattle, then they'll probably be closer to DC, if not in DC.
Yeah.
And the only reason they're making 2 is because they don't want congestion to be so much. That's why they split it up. So I don't know, like, company wise and like work wise, what that's gonna really do. I guess that's just something that we kind of just have to keep looking our eyes into. I can see if you lived in that area why you're pissed off, but let's just keep an eye out on for it. On to gaming. PS4, well, Sony is no longer going to be going to E3. Does anybody really care?
So
or did we see this coming?
Okay, so this kind of brings out, it's not just Sony, like it kind of brings out a bunch of questions. Like, okay, so E3 has always been like the place to go for all games, all video game companies, all that stuff. You just kind of go there. It's a convention. You go there and have fun and like look at what's coming out, right, and all this new stuff.
Yeah.
So like, what I don't get is like, why is Sony making their because Sony, I don't know if you know that, but Sony's making their own like thing, kind of like how Nintendo has Nintendo Direct, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like, PlayStation doing that, I'm just like, what's gonna be the point of E3? Inevitably, like, if you're
it'll
already
literally just be like what, Xbox and.
Because I think.
I mean, I think indie people will like.
Yeah, that's true.
Work
that's
well
gonna just,
in E3.
That's gonna almost turn into like a strictly E3 or like an indie genre then. No, actually no. It'll.
Yeah. The thing is that like with YouTube, there's really no point to go to E3 or do spend all that money.
No, there is a point. I mean,
there is a point because it's
like, I feel like it's still fun to go to the convention itself.
Yeah, it's definitely fun as a convention itself. But I get what you're saying. It's like
business wise, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, business wise, they probably have to like have a buy-in to all that kind of stuff because it's a lot of marketing that they're probably gaining from other people just being there. So if they set up their own thing, I'm sure they're saving cost, and if they've came to this far, they've definitely worked out the numbers on like how much they would save versus how much people watch and like how they would benefit from making their own.
That's true, because like I mean, Nintendo's done it, and Nintendo's been doing pretty good. They're doing the whole Nintendo Direct thing now. I mean, it's probably cheaper to like not have to pay employees to like travel over there and equipment and stuff like that, and like hire people to do shit.
Yeah, money wise, I think like this whole thing is
money wise, yeah. For a consumer, we gotta remember that E3 wasn't open. It's only like really recently that it's been open to the public, and that's only so that E3 could make some money.
Yeah, but
it's just one of those things that's like, I think other companies are gonna follow suit because they're gonna realize.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, maybe Xbox doesn't have one already? Microsoft.
I forget they do. No. See, here's the thing. I don't know if Sony's out of E3 because they're making their own thing or because like they're just taking a break for some reason. I haven't read into it. I don't even know if they've said anything about it. But here's the thing, like Nintendo has Nintendo Direct, and I think Xbox has their own thing. I think, but like they still do their E3 thing to pretty much announce or release new trailers.
Yeah, I still think they have like the games that's like
see demos, the thing is though, they'll like do their own announcements, and then they'll like usually release more about it at E3.
Yeah.
So, especially if they had a buy-in and all that kind of stuff and advertising, if they're making their own thing now they can just have their announcements strictly at their own venue and then release stuff on their own like time period, like their own time schedule.
Yeah.
Which for their exclusive games, I'm gonna assume that gives them a lot more flexibility and like timelines, which, as we know from like the past few years of video gaming, games have just been getting pumped out when they're not ready, which is like, well, I appreciate developers like CD Projekt Red that were like, hey, sorry, we're pushing this back again. It's not where we want it, which is infuriating in that you like want to play a game, but understandable in that, hey, I'm not going to have a ton of bugs when this comes out, and I can actually enjoy it because the graphic quality wasn't reduced in order to make up for some
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with you.
And we don't know the gist of everything going on here still. It's still, it might be possible if they still have the games for demo there, but also I think like you could really stretch out the hype for a game. Like, let's say if they only post it on YouTube, they could post like one trailer 1 week, right, and have that be talking for like a day, and then the next day like they bring out another trailer. So it's kind of like instead of dumping a bunch of shit on you, it's kind of like let's slow it down and let's see how like the market reacts to a slowed down kind of way of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that do you think that Sony also maybe and this is kind of like something I came up with like low key because I was thinking about it. I'm like, you think Sony just has run out of content to release at E3 for this generation of consoles?
I don't know, because there's so many.
The PS5,
there's so many games, and they've had a ton of VR games, which people don't really know about, because I feel like the market has been like underrepresented or like not marketed enough.
Yeah, it's straight away from VR recently. I mean, we had that VR blow up like 2 years ago, I think, or whenever the hell like the Sony VR came out and all that stuff, and the Oculus and all that stuff came out. Like we had a little like blow up of that, and then like it died down again, and it's still there, but it's not as like big as what it was. And I think this is what happens with a lot of these technologies is like, you know, like the whole like remember the 3D phase where like all these TVs are coming out with like 3D TVs and all that stuff. I feel like every few years we have like these trends of like technology, and then like they die off until they get better again, and then they come back and blow up again. And I feel like the next phase for VR will be like another VR breakthrough, where it's just like they bring something new to the table, and it's like, I don't know, like full dive Sword Art Online type shit or something, you know, like just something new, like that'll like make people be like, holy crap, like this is gonna be like the next big thing in gaming for sure.
It's possible. I don't know where they can take it from here.
I really don't either, but it's always gonna keep going forward. And I always like look at graphics and I'm like, bro, it can't get any better than this. And then like they keep surprising me every once in a while.
That is true.
And it's so weird because like you'll look at these graphics and then look at them years later and be like, damn, these graphics are trash. Like I didn't think they would get better, but they did. Like it's so weird. It's weird how our eyes adjust to it. It's so weird.
Yeah. But we are now the end of the year is about to come in. So we're gonna be starting to talk about some game of the years, and someone's already won game of the year apparently. Fortnite game of the year by
the Golden Joystick Awards. That's what they're called, which I've never even heard of, and apparently I think they're hosted or produced by AMD, the company.
AMD.
Yeah, AMD. It says, or I don't know. I think I saw it. Maybe I might have overlooked it, but I think that's what it was. Or if not, whatever. But still, like I've never heard of it and the only reason I heard of it is because like I saw it on Twitter and a couple of videos on YouTube came up about it. It was basically saying like, oh, Fortnite won Game of the Year. Like, what? Everybody was like, why the fuck did Fortnite win Game of the Year? And one of the biggest arguments is like Fortnite didn't even come out this year. It came out in 2017. So, with that being said, like it doesn't.
So you played yourself.
Yes, and that's why everybody took it as a joke. It's like, okay, did these guys like know what they're doing? Even the people who like live and breathe and shit Fortnite, like they were like, what? Like this is not. I mean, Fortnite's a fun game and all, but it doesn't deserve Game of the Year. Like it's not a Game of the Year contender, and by all means necessary, it's not at all.
That sucks. So here we are. So 2017. I'm looking at there just so we can see what their thinking might have been for last year. Game of the Year. Where is it?
What are you looking up?
Best. I'm looking their last year's winners
for the joystick awards.
Yeah, the joystick.
At least according to who was it that said it? I think it was Adrian or someone said it. That it wasn't like they don't even do it every year or something like that.
All right, they do PlayStation. Okay, this is what they did last year. They did PlayStation Game of the Year, Xbox Game of the Year, and PC Game of the Year.
Interesting.
And best story. All right, so for Nintendo, they didn't even do Nintendo. Okay, Nintendo, Legend of Zelda.
Makes sense.
PlayStation, Horizon Zero Dawn.
That makes sense.
Xbox Cuphead,
Yeah.
and PC Players Unknown.
Okay.
And then the Critics' Choice Award was The Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I just don't agree with what they said here with the Fortnite being Game of the Year.
Oh yeah, right here, Ultimate Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda. So they were right. So do you think they just did it as like a little like publicity thing?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. If anything, everybody gave him less respect for even like considering Fortnite as Game of the Year.
Because I was gonna come up here and I was gonna defend Fortnite.
Yeah, I know you were.
I really was. But after remembering that Fortnite came out last year, I really couldn't.
The whole argument kind of goes down the drain there.
Yeah, there's no way you can actually defend it anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Also, the only time I've ever heard of the Joystick Awards was when Rooster Teeth mentioned it. It was never like
a big thing, obviously.
Yeah.
Like the game awards are a big thing. Like that's like happens
every. Are they doing another one this year?
Yeah, every year they do it, dude. We came. Don't you remember me showing you the contenders?
No, I remember they used to be. Oh no! Oh yeah, that's right. Are they televising it or is it gonna be on Twitch?
I don't know if it's ever televised, but I know I always watch it on Twitch, YouTube, or wherever the hell I'm watching.
Spike, I think.
On Spike.
Yeah, on Spike. They did for some reason. Spike has like now the Spike doesn't exist. I don't know what they're gonna do.
The funny thing is,
make an esports network just like ESPN.
They should.
Disney really XD.
And the funny thing is that like every year, like I love watching the compilations of cringe and weird shit that happens at the Game Awards every year.
Yeah, last year we had the fucking shave guy, right?
Whatever the fucking dude that was like drunk or high or some shit and was like on stage and like the host was trying to like move on because he was ranting too much and like you could tell the host was getting annoyed, but the guy just kept fucking talking. Because he wasn't acting like the funny thing is he comes up like he's like he would think he was the developer of the game and he comes up and he starts like ranting and was like he even made like he talked about EA and shitted on EA a little bit with what he said and he never got to his game and talking about his game and that's why the host was getting a little bit pissed off.
Fucking stupid gaming world. Hopefully it's better this year. Hopefully it's not.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, no promises. It's just so like there's always something with all these shows. Like there's always some type of cringe.
But since we're on the topic of Fortnite, if anybody follows me on Twitter at @thedesperado316, I put out a tweet earlier which was about Fortnite white knighting. I don't know if you guys have seen this on social media for some reason. That it seems like every day someone new is coming out defending Fortnite for really no reason. So the first one, let me pull up the tweets right now, was by a streamer named Justin Katz. And he says, excuse me, regardless of the current state of Fortnite, whether you think it's good, bad, better back then, etc., it's still so much better than what y'all were playing before Fortnite. So we need to stop shitting on this game and realize how much it's done for the community. So this kind of brings up like a lot of stuff that kind of been going on through my head, where like one thing that I like think about is how disconnected the esports community is from like the real gaming community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I tweeted out that I was like, I tweeted back, I understand where he's coming from. Fortnite has changed a lot of people's lives and the community. But the best thing from what I used to be playing, nah fam. And then I said, it sounds like you're a guest in the gaming community. So I don't know, like, I guess the first question I want to ask you guys, because I've always thought about this, like what actually makes someone part of like the gaming community?
I think you just have to be well known. Like, I mean, I think if like you become big enough, you become like a big what do you call it? I forget the word, but like if you become big enough, like I think you're part of the gaming community. Like people know you for being a part of something in the gaming community. Like what would you mean? Like, did you want to reword like the question? Like, I don't know what you mean, but
it's like it's like there's people that come into like the community, like Culture Vulture, our community, that just kind of come in, get famous from it, or like I'm really sick and tired of like actors who come out of nowhere and say they really like anime
Yeah,
when they don't even like they never talked about it.
they're just trying to
before.
be a part of the trend.
They just-
That's what's annoying.
Yes,
Elon
exactly, yeah.
Musk.
Yeah, fuck Elon Musk. Fuck all of them. Fuck
Dude,
all-
honestly,
They're so
Elon
annoying.
Musk is like
Dude.
more of like a meme.
Elon Chan.
That's why I feed into
They're
it.
so annoying.
And like same with like, has Kanye ever come out and say anything about anime or
Bro,
anything?
did you see his conference with
You know,
Trump? He had hentai on his phone.
Shut up.
He made a Kanye Pickle Rick thing.
Yeah, dude, I
Yeah,
love
dude.
the people online that will like Photoshop or whatever, like screenshot onto Kanye's phone from the video conference, and it'll just be like stupid shit.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I watched that video the other day. Kanye's like passcode on his phone was like 4 zeros.
Yes, dude. That's what I noticed.
Oh
Fucking
my
password. So I was like, what
He's
the
fucking
fuck?
stupid.
I was dying when I saw that. I was
You
like,
can-
"There's no way that's like his real passcode." Nor he doesn't
think
use
you can
his
tell, like,
fingerprint,
someone's-
which like boggled my mind.
I think you can tell someone's like intelligence by like the passcode they use on their phone.
Dude, I don't. Okay,
I just use my fingerprint normally.
Yeah, I use a fingerprint too. It's just like
I use Rick, but I have like a passcode that like only I would think of.
I get you. No, I get you. I don't do the passcode anymore. What I do is like I usually do the simple like connect the dot one. I don't really care about.
That's what I
Yeah.
do. I like that one.
But yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, no.
But all right, like, do we think? Like I don't know. Like, does Fortnite really need like this much like people like defending it?
I don't
every
know
single
why the fuck
chance
people
they-
come out and defend it. Like, yes, it's a great popular game, but I don't know. Like, I don't know where they're coming. Like, I haven't seen anybody say besides the trolls. I think I explained this to you. I think the trolls is what like triggers people because like all these people like come out and say like, oh, I want Fortnite to die already. I wanted to fucking just like stop fucking being at the top charts of like every gaming thing I see today and like all this shit and like everybody's like shitting on it. But I think he's like 90% of the people that are shitting on it are just trolling. Like they don't truly care about it. They're just saying to trigger people who actually like really like the game.
Mhm.
So people feed into it and post things like this, like those tweets, and then that's why we get all this shit like of people defending Fortnite. And I didn't agree with like that guy's tweet of like, oh, like it's better than what we were playing before. Like that part of the tweet, I was like, no, sir, that ain't achieved. Like that's not how that works. I'm pretty sure we played many good games before Fortnite. So no, it's not better than what we were playing before.
Yeah, definitely. Games beforehand,
Yeah.
like Sword Art Online, Hollow Fragment,
Oh my god.
best game of the year 2019, right
Doki
there.
Doki Literature Club. Come on.
Dude, fucking
Yo, that's not
Undertale.
Doki Doki, dude. That's a religion. Have you seen their subreddit? Oh my
I have
god, it
not.
is quite possibly the biggest circle jerk on the internet.
I just
Dude,
It's still going
do
strong.
yourself a
Start
favor
getting
and just
Reddit,
go
dude.
look at their subreddit right now.
like the funny
It's
thing
like
is like,
DDLC.
I have a Reddit, but I haven't full dived into the community of Reddit. And so like I follow communities.
Neither, but I don't know where to start with Reddit. Like it's so
Honestly,
like,
you just
what do I
gotta just
do?
start using the app, or you just start using
No,
the
just
app
use-
and
just use
start
the app.
diving in.
Like just start like following communities and just like go into like those convos and shit and like
And just say random shit.
I started noticing how many
yeah, find your
Shit.
people.
convos there are.
I'll every now and then I'll just like pick a random thread and just start scrolling through it. And some people have the funniest humor I've ever met in my whole life. On like totally unrelated topics.
Like yeah, Reddit is like some of the best content you can get on the internet sometimes. Like it's fucking hilarious.
That's crazy. I'll start.
Yeah, you
trying to
really
get into
should.
it. I'll try. But since we're on Fortnite and esports gamers, look at all these fucking what are they called? Oh my god, I just had a brain fart. Wow. Okay, anyway. I actually can't remember the name. Oh my god.
Are we gonna move on to the next?
Transitions.
Okay.
Yes.
Stream it.
Look at all these transitions. PC versus console aim assist has been a very big thing, especially with Fortnite right now, where console players and PC players do get put in the same lobbies for competitions.
Yeah.
A lot of us here have played FPS games on our computers, so we know a lot about keyboard and mouse and a lot about controllers. What are you guys' stance? Do you think that it's fair? Do you think that consoles should be put in the same place with PC players, or aim assist turned off?
Personally, yeah. Like, now here's the thing. Like, to me, like, because this is like the example for Fortnite, right? Like, Fortnite does have the aim assist on console, right?
Yes.
So on PC, like, here's the thing. Like, if for some reason some console player wins, it's always, like I said, it's always gonna be, oh, but they had aim assist. Like, someone's gonna fucking say that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's the only way to justify that they lost, right? And to me, it's just like, that's why I say, like, no, that they should just have it separate, because at the end of the day, like, people are gonna say that, and it's just gonna be a big fucking clusterfuck on the internet of like that, basically, to justify the loss. So again, like, I think they should just keep them separate and just call it a day and play separately, because to me, it's just like, there's always gonna be like that argument brought up, and no one's, it's just everybody's gonna circle jerk each other, and fucking no one's gonna win the argument, and yeah, just it's just not gonna happen the right way. What do you think of it?
I'm on the same stance, really.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's the people that want to play together, PC, like console, but the simple fact is like, you can get like whipped on one side, and people are gonna attribute like being bettered to the like hardware you're using, which it might not like contribute to them being a better player, but right, like, because like in real life, like, if someone's gonna attack me with a pistol and I have an assault rifle, like, sure, the pistol player can kill me and I can kill them, or like the pistol can kill me, but like whoever has the better hardware has a better chance, type deal.
Yeah, because then you could also argue that a really good PC player will always outdo a console player, but then again, that's because like PC has like, it still has an advantage to me over console, even though they've tried like recently with like the new settings on console. Like, I still think that PC still has like a big advantage over console players. You know, like I feel like you're not gonna like win if you're up against like someone who's like a god builder like on console, and also has good aim, because there's people who have like really good aim on PC, and it's just like, even though they don't have the aim assist, which is again like how they would bring up this argument, is like, oh, but like, I already see the internet is like, look at that, he won without aim assist. Like, I already know the internet, like, that's basically gonna be like a big thing on the internet, is like, oh, he won without aim assist, like console plebs have aim assist and all this shit. So it's just like,
yeah,
okay, like, it's just gonna be a big clusterfuck of bullshit. That's why everybody has to be on even grounds when fighting in these types of games, because like, there's always gonna be some bullshit that's brought up in these scenarios.
Unfortunately, I also agree with you guys though. There's like times where like I've seen, like, you can do a flick, and maybe you weren't supposed to hit the person, but because of aim assist, you can get at least like a shot in.
You talking about like console aim assist?
Yeah,
console aim assist. Yeah, like, you can do a flick and
see. There's times when someone's like running like long distance across your screen that I feel like it definitely helps you, because you can like pace it. You don't have to worry less about pacing your shot, specifically for like first person shooters and such. But then, you know, there's also those games where someone runs right in front of you, like point blank away, and it'll drag your screen and get you killed, type deal.
Oh yeah, no, I've encountered that too.
I feel like it's a 50-50.
Yeah, sometimes like multiple people will be like pushing you, and then like they're like right in front of you, and like sometimes my aim will go to that, like the person behind the dude that's already in front of me, and like I'll fuck up and die because of that. Sometimes it works. Don't get me wrong. Aim assist really does help in certain situations, but sometimes like it fucks you up. And it's not just for like Fortnite. It's for a lot of like games. It even happens to me in Call of Duty because Call of Duty has aim assist, and like I'll like the same situation will happen to me where I'll like shoot someone behind the person that's like pretty much in front of me, and I'm like, oh fuck, like that's not what I meant to do. But it's just the way it is.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time, but I'm the one getting killed from it.
No, you need to get better, Brandon.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get away from this. I don't need
good.
I don't need this criticism. I don't need this criticism.
Yeah, I get to apply that just real quick. I get to apply that saying so often in real life when we're doing like army training and stuff like that, dude. Someone would be like, "Damn, dude, I missed my push-ups for like this by like 10 push-ups." Would be like, "Damn,
get good.
well, get good."
Oh god,
that's fucking stupid. All right, Jed, what do you mean? What do you wanna?
I
wanted to have this topic about.
Media and gaming basically. So what I'll talk about is like, do we think like the question is, do we think that media, this generation of gaming, has really affected like sales and like the way we look at games now, like all that stuff? Like, do you think it's like if media wasn't so big, like I know like Twitter has become like the main place for fucking like gaming news, and like if a game gets shitted on Twitter, it's all over the fucking place. Like it just becomes like a fucking virus that spreads throughout the internet. It's like, oh, this game is shit, fucking spread it out. Like you have like, and then like YouTube gets infected with it, and like you have like 30,000 YouTube fucking videos about like why the fuck this game is bad. And then like, it just shit like, and sometimes like there is times where like I'm like, all right, I can like, and it's kind of like what Vinny said the other day about like the mob following of people, like mob mentality of people that they just follow like a fucking trend, or they see something and they automatically believe it and they just like agree with it. And like they don't truly like make their own opinions anymore. And it's just like, it's really annoying today, I think, for like certain games to get that like shit on, like that shit that they get shit on. And I don't know, I'm like trying to word this right, but like basically like I hate that like certain games get shitted on when they shouldn't, and like they should like basically like, how to explain, like kind of like make your own opinion on certain things before like looking out to what most people are saying about the game, if that makes any sense. Like, what do you guys think? Like, do you think that media has definitely like impacted the gaming?
I think it's not even just media. I think like games in general, like media has really within like the past, I'd say 8 years, just made people like us. It's almost like the first news you see, you go with and believe that news, and any other news you hear, you like tend to like not believe or like go against. And there's some term for that in psychology. It's like selective bias, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's like a huge deal nowadays with like our age group, and it's just people not wanting to do research, or people getting an emotional attachment to whatever news they hear. And that really spread into like the video game community, which is something people, like tons of people, get passionate about. Like you love playing like The Division, but then people come and shit talk The Division because they didn't like The Division. Well, now you're fucking at each other's throats, and there's no reason for it, kind of deal.
Yeah, because I can understand, like, don't get me wrong, like I can understand opinionated like shit, like where like if you really don't like The Division, go ahead, that's your opinion. But like if you like if you I know you two like The Division, like you had your fun with that game. Like if you like that, like it's also like, to me it's like I think it's like you have to respect each other's opinions, but like when you go out and follow, like have like a mob following, like you hear The Division's trash and all this shit, like all these people making YouTube videos about how The Division's trash, right? I feel like you should still, like I experienced The Division, and I don't think I liked it as much as you did. I think what strayed me away from it is how like crappy it was at the beginning with the looting and all that stuff, but then like it got kind of better. But then like new games came out and I wasn't like interested in playing The Division anymore. So that's like really why I never really went and got back into The Division. But like I feel like a lot of people were like just like looking at this and were like, oh, The Division shit, and like they just didn't like want to get into it and make their own opinion because of that.
You never want to like open a can of worms per se. that like you don't feel something so passionately about.
Well, it's not even just recently we had Fallout 76.
Yeah.
And
the thing about Fallout to me,
I heard they had like some sort of like encrypting error, so that, like anyone on there could see like your IP address. I didn't even look into this. I strictly saw this on like in one of our like community apps at school.
Yeah, there's so many bugs with that game, and
that's fucking wild, bro.
I saw like I
that's actually wild. That's
someone kills you.
What the fuck?
You look up their IP address and you go kill them in real life.
Oh my god, bro, that's fucking crazy,
bro. I don't mess with games like that.
The thing is like, all right, like don't get me wrong, I love Fallout, and I'm biased to it, and that aspect is that I fucking love Fallout. Like I've loved all of them, and I just like I would have actually gotten this game if it wasn't so buggy. Like I did my research. Like it's not even opinion. It's like actual facts that like this shit is like really buggy right now. It's really fucked up, you know, like, and I kind of knew what I was expecting from the game. It's it being like a survival game with RPG like shit in it, right? Kind of like another game to compare it to is like Ark, right? Like it's just a fucking survival game, except that this would be like Fallout, and it would have like RPG aspects in it, such as like the perk system that's in Fallout, and you know you kind of build and like you know go around this big ass map, and like one of the big turnoffs for me was like it doesn't have like NPCs like human NPCs and like ghouls and shit like that, kind of like how like Fallout 4 had. You know, like, cause I mean, Fallout 4 is understandable. Like, it's a single player game. Like, you have to have NPCs in that. But I'm saying is like, they try to like say like, you know, oh no, but there's robots that you can talk to. It's like to me, okay, the robots are not enough. Like, you need to have like a variety of people to talk to in the game throughout the world, and that's what I was expecting. I was expecting like a survival game with like you know like all survival aspects with the RPG aspects in it, and then also like have like NPCs to make the world feel alive and shit, you know, and have that like interaction with the NPCs. You know, I was also expecting to have like you know there's like different like gangs in Fallout that you come across in the wasteland, like you know like the Raiders for example. Like I was expecting to have like you know like oh we have like a setup like house or something, right? And like the Raiders come and attack, and these are not actual people, but they're like you know NPCs that come and attack us, you know. And you know things like that. And if they want to really be cool, like what if like you can join a faction, right, and like online, right, and like join the Raiders, right, and go attack like this camp or some shit, you know, so now you're fighting NPCs and an actual human player. Like that's cool. That's what I was expecting from the game. But the game is not that. It's just like, at least from what I've seen, it's like you're going around, you're doing like they try to put these like tasks behind like quote unquote quests, but they're really just like stupid little things that you do around the game. And I like, to me, that's just not fun. And it's just like, okay, like what, like I don't even know what they're doing with this game. Like I don't know how it'll be a year from now. Maybe, I don't know if they're taking back like all the feedback the community's giving them, and like hopefully like putting some type of update where like as the year goes by, like this will keep like
you think it's like a game that's like not sustainable type deal. Like it's you play through it, you finish all your tasks, and then it's you feel like it's more working game per se.
I think it's one of those games that you just keep like reading the bad shit about and people who are further, and you're just kind of like, well, there's no point in me playing this.
Yeah,
and it's not, again, this is an example of it not being like it's me not like I'm not being ignorant and like following like the crowd. Like don't get me wrong, if I had a chance to try the game, which another thing that didn't help it was the fucking beta. The beta was just shit. Like the fact that you had to be there at a certain time to play the fucking game is stupid. They should have had an open public beta so at least people could like make their opinions also by playing the beta, you know? Like I would still play it if I'm not gonna fucking go out of my way to buy this game right now in its current state, no. But I would still play it just to see what it's like. You know, right now my stance on it is on facts that I've heard from the internet about how buggy it is, and like, you know, actual like you can clearly see the bad in it, you know. You know, like I'm not, again, I love Fallout. It's just that I would love for it to like have been kind of like what I said earlier, you know, like that's what I would have wanted out of the game, or at least some of that. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
I understand. Unfortunately, like I think like even the beta one is like when it came out, people shitted on the beta right away, so it kind of fucked it up too. And I don't know how the sales are doing. I don't know if anybody has that kind of number.
Yeah. Like to me, like Battlefield's an example of a game that got shitted on, but I had fun with, and I made my own opinion on it.
See,
like, I don't know. You have a whole different thing to say with that, but yeah. So I had fun with the beta, and I know the game was getting shit on, and like now you have the funny thing is like you had all these people like shitting it on YouTube, right? Because it's just I swear like as soon as like a game gets shit on, this is what I'm talking about, like how media affects gaming. Is like as soon as a game gets shitted on, everybody on YouTube starts making videos like, why is Battlefield bad? Oh my, like this game is trash. All this shit. Like
the thing with you're mainly referring to Battlefield 5, right?
Yeah, Battlefield 5.
Yeah, so I originally didn't really like the way they took Battlefield 1. Like the gameplay and the graphics were still good. They were still like a Battlefield game.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something just felt off on it, and unfortunately I can't like describe it specifically.
I think Vinny described it the best. So because being like Vinny, obviously Vinny's played the beta too, and he's even playing the game now, like the official game because he has it. So it's very different. Like Battlefield 5 is very different from Battlefield 1, and I think it was like Vinny described it as like Battlefield 1 was a fucking grenade spamming fucking game. Like like it was fucking explosions everywhere. That's all it was. And this one, like if you play it, it's very fluid. Like I don't know how they did it. It's just like the gameplay like is fucking great.
So yeah, like strictly gameplay, it's still a good game, but there's always the like little things that set gamers off, and I think the main thing with Battlefield 5 was like the whole SJW aspect of it, which is
a
whole nother can of worms.
That's exactly why.
Yeah,
like people were so.
Well, let's go into it.
Yeah, if you want to go into it, go ahead. But people were so like pissed at the fact that like.
I know you and I had different views on this, Brandon.
Yeah.
Where it was like, for me, when I think of a video game, like Rainbow is a perfect example. Rainbow Six, played tons of their games. I'm actually upset I missed out on the Rainbow Six sale on Steam a while ago. And I've always thought of the games as like a shoot 'em up, like realism, like just a first person shooter that gave no fucks when it came to like the types of violence displayed, which is real world, right?
Yeah.
Like those types of high risk SWAT situations, those deals. And then here you go. They're focusing strictly on like consumer base. Like, hey, we need our money is more important than our consumers. Which when you do that, it backfires on you in ways that are like extremely unpredictable, right? And a perfect example of that is Apple. The Apple brand name has been built up for years, and now people are relating Apple to like finding ways to like grab at your money. AirPods having like little connectors that make them essentially just Bluetooth earbuds with wires.
Yes.
And just all sorts of things that make it exclusive that you have to buy something else. Amazon lost or in their new iPhone that like wasn't innovative enough. I think Amazon lost $130 billion. I want to see if that number's correct because I just heard about it in my microeconomics class. Yeah, they lost a ton of money because their consumers like lost faith in their brand name. That relating back to video games, Rainbow Six was thought of as like the realistic shoot 'em up, like take your time, be quick and accurate type shooter. And here you go, they have them censoring like their icons for operators to not include knives and like taking out blood splatter and stuff like that. And that sort of thing just tipped the community over where they thought of it this type of video game should be. And going into like Battlefield was seen as like this, this huge like war field with a bunch of dudes going at it. And here you have like it's also pretty realistic in the sense of like Battlefield chaos, because I think that's like Battlefield's usual niche, or for like video games is that it's a huge battlefield that anything can go on at any time, and then here they throw in this aspect of like a chick with what was it, like a hook hand or something like that.
Yeah, no, yeah. And
Which
funny,
they had in
took
the
that away,
trailer. Yeah, they took that away as like an attempt to bring their consumer base back. Which for some consumers that'll be like, okay, like they fixed that. Which is what I basically did with Rainbow. It's like, hey, Rainbow's taking away these visual aspects. I told myself I'm not playing Rainbow until they like bring it back, and now I think they're changing that back now.
Yeah.
So I'm going back to it. But with Battlefield, I know a ton of people are not A, canceled their pre-orders, B, are not going back to Battlefield.
But
just based on those aspects.
What I would say with that is because we actually talked about this on the last podcast with the Rainbow thing, where I don't understand how like it doesn't affect your gameplay. It doesn't make like woman characters aren't stronger than a man character.
And it's like the same way with like
it's more like a visual
Call of Duty in what was it, Call of Duty Ghosts, where you had your own like customization. Having female playable multiplayer characters was enough to like cause a little bit of an uproar in the Call of Duty community back then. Because it was something that didn't affect gameplay at all whatsoever. Like the hitboxes were all still the same. Like it was strictly visual. If you wanted a female character, you had it, and they had the same types of armor visuals as the male characters. The only difference being that their gender.
Yes.
But it was where the community themselves thought a Call of Duty shouldn't be like that. They had only seen male characters up to that point. And it's the same way with Rainbow and Battlefield, in that Battlefield, you don't think of like a customization aspect of like having someone with a disabled hook hand, male or female, in that like sort of mentality.
But why not?
I don't have an issue. That's fucking thousands of people who don't agree with it. You have to get their opinions. I personally just don't like it. I strictly play Battlefield 4 just because I like the gameplay and like multiplayer for that.
My whole thing has always been.
No, I was going to ask him.
My whole thing is.
Oh, okay, my bad. Go ahead.
You go.
Double whammy.
So I was gonna say no. I was gonna ask him like, so Tiernan, so did you not like? Do you like the World War II setting, or no?
I like World War II just because it's a little bit more modern, and World War II is like when we started to get into like more like less trench warfare, more like actual open battlefields. Like there's still a lot of remnants from World War One.
Yeah, of course.
But like, I mean, you guys both know me. I mentioned this earlier in the podcast. Like, I love high tech stuff, right? That's like my wet dream, is to just be like cybernetic as fuck.
Got you.
Just like fully body augment myself, exosuit, like replace my eyes with like cameras. I don't give a shit.
Think you were born in the wrong time, dude.
I know. But yeah, like I love the like more modern stuff, which is why playing games like Battlefield 4, which is pretty much modern day, and then going into games like Call of Duty,
and
Black
Titanfall,
Ops,
even
Titanfall, like all the like sci-fi type stuff.
So
I eat it up.
Like you like the more like modern stuff,
yeah.
Which is kind of like
more modern.
Why you would probably also stray away from Battlefield 5 too. Is like you just wanted a more modern game.
Yeah, like if they came out with like a fucking Battlefield whatever, Battlefield Banana, some shit. I don't give a shit what they would name it. That had exosuits and like fucking, I don't know, like Titans and shit coming down as like tanks and blah blah blah. I would eat that shit up. You would not see me for months.
Or not even that, like I think you just like because I know Battlefield didn't it make like a future game at one point? It was like 20 something at 20.
Oh yeah, it was a brick ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but I think if they remade something like that, like a future Battlefield with like really cool technology, kind of like how we saw in like the end of the war of Battlefield 4, like that like last DLC where like there's like floating fucking tanks and like they had like those pods that shoot up and like send you flying across them. Like that'd be cool as fuck. Like if they had that like that, but then like that was the whole game. Like it was like a whole future thing, and yeah. So back to the whole like media and gaming thing. Like, do you think that like back to Call of Duty? So like, do you think that if like because Call of Duty Ghost came out when was it 2013, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And it was the
Ghost?
beginning
Yeah.
of the it was basically like the bridge between last gen and this generation of consoles basically.
Yeah, because
And
they released it on both,
Mhm.
yeah,
which
and
I ended
media
up buying on both as like
yeah,
a
and
young team.
media wasn't
Ugh.
like big with gaming yet at that time. Like it was just starting, and I feel like, what do you think? Do you think that like if Call of Duty Ghosts came out today and like the whole new like female aspect of it was like introduced, and like with it getting an
Oh
uproar,
no,
a little bit of an
there would
uproar
be
back then, do you
there
think?
would be zero talk
I mean,
about
just
it because at this point, like
I-
female characters in gaming, that's like a regular,
Yeah,
right? So
ah,
I mean,
no, but the
let's think
reason,
about it. Like in all the Call of Duty since then, there have been male female characters. Black Ops 4 has
yes, but
all the operators are like male female.
he's saying like back in Ghost, if there would have been talk, I think there would have. I think some gamers are scared of having women in their games for some reason.
yeah, because like
And that needs
the
to
way some
change.
people talk about it is like to me it's like so ignorant with the way some people say it. It's like, oh, like I don't want to like my grandpa served in fucking World War II. I don't want a female there. There was no females there serving on those front lines. Like
See,
I understand
that
that, but
makes
I
more
also like
sense in historic games like Battlefield, um, where like they are being modeled after games or like events in the past.
yeah
Now, but now we have like futuristic games like Black Ops and stuff like that, where there's literally females with like body augmentations chucking like grenade launchers and shit around as like battery in
yeah
fucking Black Ops, right? Total badass slays bodies. So no, I haven't seen anywhere Reddit comments, Twitter, anything like that that's saying that shit talking battery in Black Ops 4. Aside from holy shit, I got killed by battery's grenade launcher 6 times in one life.
no, I got you there. Yeah, no, I haven't seen that either. It was just, like it was really just a battlefield where it's like
Yeah,
like
I feel like it's only relevant
did
because
Call of
it is
Duty,
historic.
yeah, did Call of Duty World War II have females in it? I can't remember.
I think.
You know,
Let me check.
Because I literally I couldn't
Okay.
remember if like in the character selection like you could pick male or female, and I was like my whole thing was like I would have brought up if they didn't.
I think in the
you think that-
multiplayer you could, but obviously in like the campaign, it was like a strictly male squad, which I'm sure was there a Battlefield 5 trailer when World War II was released?
No. This is World War II was a year ago, dude. So like, this
see,
is,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because I remember they took out swastikas too.
yeah,
And
that was
they
Call
put
of Duty's
women in
big
there
thing.
too.
Which again, it's relating back to like the historic aspect. They're like, dude, there was swastikas all over the place.
yeah,
But
and that's what I didn't get is like I know certain places like I know Germany doesn't allow it, and like I think
Yeah.
Australia too. There's like censorship,
which
when it comes to
again
stuff
is
like that.
relating back to like Rainbow and places where they need the Chinese market. But you
Yeah.
you have to. This is one thing they like drill the fuck into your mind when you're like learning about business. As a degree, the consumer is everything, right? Like you hear that shit on like I don't know any TV show, but it's
Yeah.
facts. If you don't adapt to what the consumer wants, despite what you might want your product to be, you will not sell. And we saw that with
Mhm.
Battlefield 5.
Yeah, I don't know how sales are doing now though. Like I can't vouch for it being bad or good yet. Like I don't know.
I think they took a huge hit to their sales, at least their initial sales.
I mean, I thought the game didn't come out yet officially.
Did it come out officially? If it doesn't come out
Hasn't
yet
Vinny been
officially,
playing it?
Vinny got the early edition,
Yeah,
so you get to
the-
play a couple days early. But if I remember, I think that was
Yeah.
like a few days early.
Well, I know that
Yeah,
their
you still have to
pre-orders have had a huge hit. That's that one thing. I don't have an exact number for you, but I know that it was substantial.
November 15.
Also,
What came out? Wait a second.
and it's the 18th, so like the whole point is like
DLC already got
oh
announced.
god.
But it says also pre-order.
Oh, so maybe it's still not out. I don't know. Whatever.
Hold on, it says Best Buy. You can have it in stores.
I know it's coming out.
Okay, release date 11/20th.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, it's coming out real soon. So again, like I don't know the sales. I mean, at least these pre-order sales. I don't know. I mean, the servers are obviously active, so that means a lot of fucking people bought it early. So, so I don't know how, like when the official thing comes out, and also like the holiday season. You know, like I want to see how sales are by, let's say December and like end of December, January. That's like the holiday ending.
Well, I think we should look out their initial release, day 1, and then the week, and then maybe December.
Yeah. So again, like I don't know. I just think I'm personally gonna get it eventually, just because like I like the action. I when I play Battlefield games, I get immersed into it. Like when I play Call of Duty, I don't get immersed. It's more of like a fun arcade game. But Battlefield is for immersion for me. Like I like the fucking chaos there's in there, and like like it just I think like recently what they did with like the players and like how like the in-game players react to like certain environmental like situations, like I think it's pretty cool. Like I don't know if you guys ever watch these videos, but like the no HUD and like Battlefield 1 videos, like I never really pay attention because like I'm in the shit just shooting everything, but when you truly pay attention, like they're like the in-game characters are just like saying like shit like, oh my god, like why am I here, or like I don't want to be here, I'm gonna die today, just shit like that. It's like holy fuck, that just gets you so immersed because you're like god damn, like it makes you feel like you're fucking truly like fighting in this battle when you weren't really there, and it's just like fucked up to hear like all the shit that a real life human would say in these situations, like to really see the fear that these guys are going through. And it's just like that's what I like about Battlefield. It's like I know they did that for Battlefield 5 too. Like the in-game characters say like really crazy shit like that. And I like that whole like immersiveness in Battlefield, and I just like living through these different battles, even though they were probably fucking 10 times worse in real life. I still like the whole immersion from it and living through this shit. Like it's just a really like fun fucking thing to be in for me, So yeah,
you should try real life.
No, fuck that. I'm good. Honestly, I would do fucking real life if I wasn't so fucked up. I always wanted to be in the military.
So we think that's all good then?
I think we touched everything. I don't know if anybody has any points, but I think I'm good.
Oh, I got one thing to mention.
Go ahead.
Amazon Prime getting hella good shows for if anyone's interested in like animes and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. So I know, Brandon, did you ask us about this like last week? About like, is Amazon still doing anime and shit like that? And like,
dude, they have gone off. They are getting all the shows that have not been like available anywhere. And
you still have to pay for a strike, right? You still have to pay for a strike?
Because you know what strike is, right?
No, I don't.
That used to be the anime thing, but I think like the anime became a part of Prime, right? Like Amazon Prime. Because like Amazon used to have like their own like anime like side thing going. Did you know that? But then they stopped it, I think.
I had no clue.
Yeah, they stopped it, and I think it just became like Amazon. Like if you have Amazon Prime, you have access to all the animes too.
Yeah, it's as of right now, it's like Amazon Prime Video has a bunch of shows that are Prime. But I maybe Brandon, for a while there, the only like anime that was on Prime was the fucking Cabinet of the Iron Fortress.
Yeah.
This is Jet's favorite.
I would say it's my favorite, but I just like I liked it more. I liked it more than Attack on Titan only because like they can like I didn't like the villain. The villain was pretty shitty and lackluster. But like I like it has potential to be really fucking good. I want like a season 2 or season 3 if possible one day, because like I really want to know where they will go with it, and I hope it does get better. But yeah, that's why. And I like zombies in anime, in general. Like High School of the Dead is to this day like one of my favorite animes.
Still never finished that.
You should, even though they're never ever gonna make another one. But yeah, like it's just like zombies in anime for me. I don't know what it is. I just like zombies. Zombies anime. It's just because of the way they animate things and like fucking guts getting ripped out and like the goriness of it in general. It just looks fucking way cooler for me. You know, I just like the whole apocalypse fucking feel and shit. I think it's so fucking cool. But that's just me. That's just I like zombies in general. So yeah. So yeah. Any other points we want to add into this ending, or we're good?
I think we're good.
All right.
All right, let's get out of here. If you guys have made it this far, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, follow us on everything else that you are listening to us on. Support us on Anchor, because if we get like a bunch of views on Anchor, we can actually be put on Spotify and they'll do it like for us and everything like that. It's actually pretty dope. This has been the Blaze Podcast, where topics and conversations are always fire, and we'll see you guys next time.